Hello everyone, welcome to Mixed Media Monday. We're going to get started. So today we're doing a bit of a sneak peek of Generations because we've got one of the new rice papers. It gets released next week on Scrapbook Fantasies website. And then we've got a fishing fun rice paper and a new stencil. This is Fancy Pattern. This is what the stencil's called. I do like it. So we're going to get started. I do already have some white paint out from a project I was just quickly finishing off this morning. So that's just the white acrylic mop mark paint that I've got sitting on my palette. Right, so we're just gonna come in. And what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little bit of this rice paper on each side. So let me grab out my paintbrush that I can do some feathering with. Where's my good paintbrush gone? Having a moment, don't worry. Found a paintbrush. Right, let's grab the water. So we're just going to come in. First of all, rip it in half. And second, just going to come in and take off a border piece. Well, the bit that we print the barcode on, so then we know which rice paper it is. Else when you order a rice paper, it might be a bit hard for us to pick it. There we go. So then we're just going to come on and take off the margin. Don't have to do this. I do prefer to make sure my edges are blended, well, feathered, because then they blend really well. The rice papers, we have a margin on them so then we can get the best printing for you. Means that you get good quality, which is really important. Put them off to one side because I'll put them in a painting. Right, there we go. And now, one day I'll have to do a painting where I show you how I use those bits. Okay. So, I'll have to do a class. I'll show you. I'm just going to come in. I'm thinking that we need... doesn't have to be equal, but about there. So let's just come in and wet the top, feather off the top piece, lift it up, wet the bottom, feather off the bottom piece, feather the top, feather the bottom. There we go. Now let's come and have a little bit of fun. Okay. So before we get started painting, what I think we're going to do, so I'm just going to put out a bit of this light green paint. Making sure that your palette knife's clean, obviously, as well. Yep, there we go. I'm at the bit of the last scarrocks of my white light green there, so it's a bit of a moment. And then we're just going to come and clean our palette knife. So you can either do this with a bit of gauze or a bit of paint or a bit of rice paper, a bit left over. It's up to you. Or you could do it with a cloth, but I prefer to do it with something that I can make into a painting later. And then let's come and get a bit of this sky blue. And we're going to make sure we got that nice and far away. Don't too close. Okay. Stick the palette knife in there so all is good in the world. Okay. Move it over, and now we're going to use a big paintbrush. No water to start with, and what we're going to first do is we're going to grab our white paint. We're just going to paint it on. So I'm going to get a bit of a coat. On. There we go. And then let's come put our rice paper on. We're just going to sit it on top and we'll rub it down so we've got no air bubbles. It's a trick. We don't want any air bubbles. Oh, I've got a bit of blue paint on my fingers, obviously, somewhere. It's okay. And then we're going to come in. Maybe not that strong. Gosh. Yep. 1 minute. Accidentally put my paintbrush too much over. Let's grab that one. I think I'm making it worse. It's okay. Just really come in and blend it. And then grab a bit of the white, a bit more of the white paint, and just keep blending it in a bit. And then if we grab the light blue, can put a bit of it on. And grab a bit of the white paint. And then we grab a bit of the light green, but mixed in with the white already, so we get that light tone when we come in. Go. Just helping us point out our landscapes, and it covers our full page. Can't really tell what's rice paper and what isn't rice paper now, which is the trick we're going for here. And then what we're just going to come and do is with a dry gesso brush. Actually, let's first come in with a sponge and a bit of the white. We're just going to come in and make some clouds in the sky portion. We're just sponging out some white. And you start off and you just work your way out and let that blue mix in. And make your clouds look really natural. Part of the scenery. Radio, and then do so I think we need a few little green lines. Go. And then a few of the blue, light blue. Go. And now, I think what we need to do is we just need to dry it real quick. Yep, we're just going to come in and dry it. So we can do a bit of stenciling with a bit of paint pen. We're going to move our creative palette out of the way so then we don't dry the paint on our creative palette. Why do I not have electricity? 1 second, folks. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. Just going to come in and dry it a bit. And then, oops, sorry. Let me just, there we go. Right, and now, just make sure, yep, it's touch dry in the places I want it to be. Yes, so we're going to put our stencil down, and with our broad neon apricot orange pencil paint marker, we're going to come in. And this is going to give us a bit of a mozzie look, so it's not going to be, you know, 100% clear stencil, and that's what we want. We want it to kind of fade into our background. Oh, got a bit of paint on the paint marker. 1 minute. We don't want to get paint on the marker. Okay, rightio. There's that. And then what we're going to come and do is we're just going to come in and spritz. Slash mist. I'll stencil lightly with some water. I use the Couture Creation Mister on my mum's desk because my other spritzers at the moment, I've got inks mixed with water in them. I know. There we go. Just getting the excess paint off of our stencil. There we are. Now, I think we're going to come and do is we're just going to get our palette knife and grab out a bit of the dark blue so that there is the ultramarine blue, and then we're going to grab a bit of this sap green. There we go. And then just going to come in and with some water on our blending brush from our jam jar, because yes, I use jam jars, and then we're going to grab, I think, some of our ultramarine blue, and then a buttload more water. I'm just going to come in and there we go. Then over here, oh, I think that could be a bit better. There we go. And then just one little, there we go. That's what we're looking for. Now, we just grab a bit of water and get it to drip a little bit. There we go. And then we're going to grab our teeny paintbrush, or a small paintbrush. Maybe a teeny. Yeah, let's go teeny. Teeny paintbrush. We're just going to grab a bit of the ultramarine blue. Just come in. Do a bit of this pattern. And there. Up here. Bit of it down there, and then I'm going to clean that paintbrush. Do it with a bit of white. And we've just splattered. Okay. And then we're going to come in and make a bit of fakey grass by getting a little bit of our dark green paint on our gesso brush and just patting off the fair majority of the paint, and then just coming in and tapping it down. I think we need a bit more paint. Now, that looks good by itself. Like, you can leave it kind of like that if you wanted to. That's okay. I would add like a bit of dark blue up there, potentially, which I am going to do in a minute. But what I also want to do is I think I'm going to come and add a few flowers in from the Generations rice paper. These bouquets. And I'm going to stick them down with white paint so then they sit on top of our scene. And then I'm going to just blend it out a little bit. But as you can see, like, it's looking pretty good. I'm quite happy with it. I might put a bit of a script stencil on it. I think so. Just give me a second. There we go. That doesn't look too bad. I think we just need a little bit up there. Yes, okay. So now let's decide which flowers we're going to need. I don't think we will need all of them because that might be a little bit of an overkill, but I do think we might go for the ones that mainly have yellow in them because we've got that apricot color ready in it. So I actually think these two or this one. Let's go this one and this one here, I actually think. These two diagonally across from each other. Lift that one up and out of the way while we do the feathering. Right, now grabbing our paintbrush. Just come in and wet around the two we want. Then just going to come in, pull them out, and then I'll get a bit closer to the flowers once I'm got them all pulled out. There's that one. And I think I'm going to do... Oh, I've got these sequins on my desk from somewhere. Must have been a couple of weeks ago. Okay, here we go. Get nice and close to the flowers. Now, I'm not going to stick them down with my opaque white paint from Mont. I'm going to stick them down, well, I say opaque, it's just normal white paint. I'm going to stick them down with the white texture gesso if I've got some in my bottle, because it's like a translucent white, which is kind of what I want. I want to still see the background a little bit behind it, but I want my flowers to sit on top, not to blend in. If I wanted them to blend in, I would just use my gel medium matte or my gel medium gloss and be okay with it, but I want them to sit partially on top. That one there. This one here. Yes. Yes. And then, yeah, I think a bit of script and then we're good. Okay, so let's just come in. So this is the white texture gesso. I think the new bottles have a bit of a different labeling in them because Mont every couple of years does do, well, nearly every year does do a little bit of a rebrand on their bottles. And like you'll see that with the paintbrushes too. So my paintbrushes are from 2021, I think. My set that I currently use in videos. Whereas, so they got like the yellow edge, whereas the ones that have been released this year, I've got a different color. Right, so I'm just putting it down where I want it to go. And I'm just going to grab a bit of an excess off and put some on top. Now I did this because I actually have no room left on my creative palette. I've made a bit of a mess on it. Well, I do think I have a bit of room on it, but I can't see because I've got a little bit too much paint on it. That's because I forget to clean things. And then I'm just going to come in and really rub it in and work that gesso into the background. So I've got a little bit on my finger so I can come in and rub my edges down. I'm going to come in, place it down, and then, like I said, work those edges into being blended into the background. And a little bit of the paint is still wet, which is great because it's helping me blend in a little bit of the paint from the background. Not obviously the gesso's wet, but a little bit of paint from the background, helping me blend into that landscape that we've built. And there's that one there. So it's really important not to heat tool in between doing the flowers and doing the background. So then you can do this where it blends with the color from the background. So this is a bit of a bigger flower. So once again, just going to blend it out. Really work that paint into the background. Because remembering that where we're sticking these flowers, we also have a layer of rice paper underneath that we've really extended out for painting the scene that was on it. So we need to make sure that that rice paper is still going to have a little bit of absorbency left in it. So we want to make sure that it all sticks. And once it's dry, I'm going to come in and cut off the excess that I've got there. And because I've lost a slight bit of detail here with my water, I'm just going to come in with a fan brush and actually do a little bit of the blue, then a little bit of the green, and then some fakey dark green bits. Okay, and then we want is a little bit of that there. Stencil, and then this one here. And now what we're going to come and do is grab our script stencil out. What I think I need it's a bit of a mixture. I think I need a little bit of white script, but I also need a little bit of the dark blue. So we're going to come and do the white first. So just grabbing a small amount on our stencil brush with no globby bits. Gonna come in. Okay, yeah. Come and do a bit down here as well. Yep. Cool. And then a little bit of white here. Go. And then I'm going to grab that dark blue. Do a bit over here. A bit here. And a bit down there. Okay. And there we have it. I think we have our art journal page. Yes, I'm quite happy with it. Yeah, let me lift it up to show you. It's washing. Okay. Some close-ups. There. Go on, I reckon. I do like how this spot looks by itself on the page. All bits and differences. But who would have thought that that rice paper only covered half of our art journal? You never would have guessed. But there is our mixed media layout for the day, for the week. Sorry, not the day, the week. I'll be back next Monday with another mixed media Monday. We should have another new stencil for that week as well. Lots of new stencils currently. And it should be a fun one. Just as a heads up, we do have 2 free open live classes at Scrapbook Fantasies this weekend because it's the Generations Online Retreat, which means that next Monday, so basically 7 days, the Generations will be released. So it's an amazing collection. These flowers are a bit of a preview for you. There's lots of rice papers, I think 2 stencils, a colour card. There's plenty to see. But yeah, if you so next Monday it's going to be very busy. We'll have the reveal and another mixed media Monday, so I cannot wait. And see you all next time. I hope you have fun painting this one, and please share what you make. I'd love to see them. Even message me. I'm fully open for that one. So thank you for coming, and have a wonderful night, everyone, or day, depending when you're watching this. Bye. See you next Monday. Bye.